This simply addresses the issue we're having right now with youth unemployment in our state. You know, we have close to a 12% youth unemployment. And my question to anyone who's going to oppose this bill is, why do you not want young people to have a job? Why are you against somebody who's under 22 years old, who works less than 20 hours a week, who's going to school full time? My child in high school, why are you against that person having a part-time job? So that's why I ran the bill, to address those issues. It has nothing to do with the Voter Protected Act of Prop 206. There's two views in this world. There's the glass is half full and the glass is half empty. We just heard the glass is half empty. What this does is it affords the opportunity for people who currently don't have jobs to get jobs. Because I know as an employer, and I know many of you as employers who are in this room, and I think some of you are still going to speak on this, often had to double up tasks for employees who are now making the new state minimum wage because we can't afford to hire the lower waged individual to do some of the menial tasks around the building. I mean, that's a reality. There are people currently who can't get jobs. And just think about this for everybody with this question. You used to go to the grocery store and there was a cashier and a bagger. The bagger was usually a high school kid, at least when I was growing up it was. I saw my friends doing it all the time. Now what do you have happening? You have the cashier bagging the groceries. Tell me how that's good for youth. I could stand up here and teach a class probably on what goes into hiring employees and what facets of their lives you look into and what qualities in a person you look for and what background experience you look for. The cost of the employee is one very small piece of the picture. And let me tell you, as an employer, I never looked at a person and said, gee, you know, I would hire that person, but they're only worth X number of dollars. I think that's actually a pretty sad way of looking at things. I always looked at their skill set, their talent set, and whether or not they needed the opportunity. If somebody has no job experience, they have to be given the opportunity to gain that job experience. You know, when I introduced this bill, I got invited into a manufacturing facility in my district that builds air conditioners that moved here. I know air conditioners from Canada doesn't seem right, but anyway, that's what they're doing. They have 300 employees, and they made the statement, the vice president of global operations of this company said to me, if we had the ability to hire students who are going to our local community colleges like this, we would hire probably 10 to 20 individuals that we currently can't afford to put on staff because we're doubling the duties of minimum wage employees we currently have hired at the state's wage level. And it would free those individuals up to do more things that were tied to their skill set and leave, quite honestly, less skilled jobs available to those that they could pay a good, at least federal minimum wage to.
Members, I'd like to tell you a brief story. I routinely make a trip between Tucson and Cortez, Mancos, Colorado. And I go through the town of Globe, and I generally stop at the McDonald's that is at the highway before we turn north to the Salt River Canyon. A year and a half ago, I walked in, and the young lady who used to serve me coffee was introducing people to the kiosks. And I asked her, how's this going to affect you? Will you still be here? She broke out into tears and she said, sir, I know you're a representative. I'm a single mom with 2 kids living in Globe, Arizona. This is the only job I got, and it's gone Friday. The only way I'll be able to survive is to get on the state dole. So the manager of the store just happened to be there, and I asked him, is this a move to be more profitable? And he said, no, sir, this is a move for us to stay open and be competitive. Because otherwise, I'm going to have to lay off everybody else and shut the doors. So for those people who think it's okay, that it somehow is creating some level of class warfare, I think we're kind of missing the point. That there is this overwhelming desire to pay an equal wage for unequal talent. There are so many people who have risen to leadership roles in this country, going all the way back to the days of McDonald's starting. They learned the importance of showing up, of how to show up, of how to serve people, of how to present yourself. And by the way, this is back in the day when they didn't use cash registers that were computers. They actually knew how to make change. So now we have a situation where a third of the people that used to work at the McDonald's in Globe, Arizona, no longer have a job in a little town, America. And I think that's tragic. If we've got the opportunity to help youth, let's take a look at the first word on this bill, youth. These are not people who are destined to, hopefully, we're not getting 14-year-olds that have children,
15,
just so that they can
15
keep
seconds.
food on the table. So members, I support this bill. I support the idea that we need to give our youth a foothold in the employment workplace. This is one small move towards that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.